Welcome to the blind zone. What is a blind zone, you say?
Wait a minute,
It,
wait a minute, wait a minute. Time out.
yes, ma'am.
Time out. Denise is not here.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, we don't have to start that way.
Whoa. We can do whatever we want.
That's exactly right.
Well, what do you think our topic should be today?
Well, since we're doing this,
Yes.
and we love Denise,
Yes, we
and we
do.
can push her out when we need to.
Yes, and we did.
What about friendship?
Friendship's awesome. Friendship's awesome. That's a great topic.
I think that's a good one. We met.
Yes.
How?
Well, it started out, I met Denise 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And I had been praying for some Christian friends to go to church with. Some of them are better than others about going, but Denise is real good about going. And anyway, I met Denise through a group and we became friends. And then she introduced me to CJ, who is also a Cindy.
Yes.
And I'm a Cindy. Mm-hmm. What show is this today?
I think we decided to call it the Cindy's Zone.
Thank you. That's us. Good? That's perfect. So anyway, so then she introduced me to CJ. And so we've all been friends, and we have another one that comes with us sometimes, Dee. And so the four of us have actually bonded and had a really good friendship.
Have become very fast friends. And it's all around the one person, Denise, who has started the Blind Zone.
Yes.
And we kind of just meshed for some reason. Yeah.
You know why? Because God's in the middle of it.
And You're exactly right.
Yes. Yeah. And I think some of the things we were going to kind of talk about today was friends that sometimes friends come into your life and they're there for a short time. And then other ones come in and they're there for the rest of your lives. And it's Medea that said in some little clip that I watched that how some people come in and they're like leaves on a tree, and they come in and they're there for a little bit and then the wind blows them away. And then others are like roots. They dig deep down and they stick with you through thick and thin.
I believe that's going to be us.
I do too. I do too.
It kind of feels that way.
It does.
Been, what, 2 years maybe?
Maybe like a year, 2 years.
Year to two, something. It seems like forever because I can't imagine the three of you guys not in my life.
Me either. On it, it feels like we've all been together for a really long time. And I think friends too. I know sometimes, like I've had friends that there's been misunderstandings with.
Yes.
And I was talking to CJ a little bit about this morning how you have really good friends and there's a misunderstanding, whether it be your fault or not. And I had that happen with some friends. And fortunately, one of the friends kept writing me and saying, you know, let's get together. And she'd call me. And even though I hadn't done anything wrong, I felt like I just had to forgive her, even though she might not. It was for me, not for her. And so we ended up, I met with her and her husband. And fortunately, her husband, you know, we got back together and we're back on track and really good friends. And he ended up passing away later. And I thought if I had not, been the one to say, okay, after she'd been the one trying so hard to bring our friendship back together, if I had just ignored that, we would have never gotten back together. And I would have felt, I'd felt really bad after he passed away.
And I mean, those people like that come in and out, and there's for a reason. Like you said, there's a season for the friendship. I have 5 other friends that we met. Gosh, I can't even tell you when because it would date me.
Okay, we're not talking about age today.
But we reconnected in 2006, and it was so long ago. We used to hang out together. Most of us worked together, but then we created such a bond. And we are trying now to get together at least once or twice a year because we're in different parts of the country.
Yeah.
And it feels like when you get back together, you've never been apart.
Isn't that awesome? And that's rare. It's not, it's a rare thing.
And I was recalling when we were talking about trying to do this, another friend of mine, actually I have about 2 or 3 that I went to high school with.
Oh, that's awesome.
And you talk about a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago. And so I can pick up the phone when I get back to Kentucky, which is where I'm from.
Yes.
And you can just know that it's as if we've never parted.
That's so awesome. That's awesome.
But then you also have others
Yes.
that you feel like you're never, ever, ever going to lose track of
Yes.
each other. And then for whatever season,
Mhm.
reason,
Mhm.
whatever happens, you do drift apart.
You do.
You miss them,
Yes. Yes.
but there's a reason for that
Mhm.
too.
There
you
is.
know.
There is.
Yeah.
And some people, you know, bring a lot of joy to your life and a lot of you know, they're there for you no matter what. And then you have other friends that are just acquaintances, or you just know them and you know you could call them and just chat. But it's those bonds, those friendships that, you know, people are really going to be there for you, that you want to try to, what's the right word? You want to, yes, cultivate. Thank you.
That's what friends are for.
That's what friends, it's a team effort. But exactly.
Yeah. I mean, you do. And it's not like it doesn't happen on its own.
Correct.
When you have a friendship, and I always think of the triangle. It's like you, me, and God.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes.
And if that's where it's based, it generally is going to last and be strong.
It is.
Generally.
And that's true. And it normally, and not always, but if God's not the center of that, you still might be friends with them, but it's not the same kind of bond that you have with somebody that you have God as a center. Yeah, that's good. Sometimes I'll have to think of that triangle, you know. That's a good one.
See, that's my gift to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's what friends are for. But, you know, also I think too that friends can lift you up. I mean, that's the kind of friends you want. And I want the kind too that'll tell me the truth.
Yes.
Okay. I went through a situation it's been like 4 years ago. And a friend of mine kept telling me, stop it, get out of that, stop it, get out of that. And I finally did. And I had to thank her because she was telling me the truth. And other people are like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. But she kept telling me the truth. And
you knew it.
Oh, yes.
Even before she told you, you knew it.
I did.
And
I knew it.
True friend.
But she was a true friend that kept pushing me to stop it and saying, now you need, stop it. And thank goodness for friends like that, or thank God for friends like that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And He does bring people into your life now, and out.
And out, for sure.
And if you listen and you are in tune and try to understand why, I'm divorced. I know for sure that if we hadn't separated and gotten away from each other, and God had not pulled me out of that relationship, I would not have as strong a relationship now with God.
Exactly.
And I had to kind of come to grips with that too, because I thought, okay, I failed.
Right. Oh, yeah, exactly. Because that's what we do. We get so hard on ourselves, you know.
But I mean, I know for sure He was right in the middle of that. I'm not saying that He wanted us to separate like that, but He had to get us apart.
Yes.
In order to come into my life as strong as He did.
Yes. And, sometimes, God doesn't love divorce by any stretch, but there are situations where you have to get out, or you know that you're going to suffer, and that's not what God wants,
No.
But you sound like me, and both of us are single. So I think we both
you
probably
had to say that.
I'm sorry. But both of us, I think, probably depend a lot on our friends.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's why I'm thankful that we've all gotten to know each other, because it's friendship. It's about friendships and God. I just love that triangle. I'm just going to remember that. I am. I may draw a triangle. I can draw that. I'll draw a triangle when I get home.
Well, and see, that's the reason, actually, I think we did not have God in the center of our marriage. And if you don't have that, it's not necessarily doomed, but once that you realize what that relationship can be like, and if the other person isn't on board, it's a tough situation.
Well, it's the same. They say unequally yoked.
Yes,
it's with marriage, but it's also with friendships.
You are absolutely
because if you can be friends with people that don't have the same exact political, religious, whatever. You need to have some, but there comes a point where you don't want to have them influencing you away from your beliefs and your feelings about, so yeah.
But it's all about acceptance too.
It is. It is. And you have to have that. I do believe fully you have to accept everybody for what, God didn't turn anybody away.
No.
Like we've talked about, he didn't turn anybody away. And so I don't think you should just like turn people away or something, but you just know when things, sometimes they just happen gradually. It just, like you said earlier, it just fades off, and that's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
They come and go, and there's a reason for that, and you just look through it and talk through it and move on.
Well, have you ever had to just like cut somebody off?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because you know they weren't good for you.
I think I just talked about that.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Thank goodness.
Okay, never mind.
Oops.
See,
yes.
Some
okay.
friends don't necessarily listen to.
Wait. That was a husband. I'm talking about friends.
Oh.
Have you ever had to cut a
Nice
friend
recovery.
off? That was a recovery, wasn't it?
That was kind of.
Have you ever had to cut a friend off?
I actually, I didn't do it.
Okay.
But it was done for me.
It was done for you. Yeah. And, either way.
I can't recall one that I would have cut off myself.
Yeah.
Because I'm a yellow in the temperaments.
Yeah.
And I don't
cut anybody off.
I really don't.
Yeah.
And but it has to be cut off sometimes.
Right. And if it's not you, then God will take care of it or some other way. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we were talking before about first impressions as well.
Oh, yes, yes.
And I know that I had a couple of situations when I met someone, and they shared later with me that they were absolutely certain that I was somebody they did not want to even get to know.
From a first impression?
From a first impression.
Wow.
Yeah. And I thought, you need to kind of work on that a little bit. But we became fast friends.
See?
So that they could tell me, she could tell me.
She was a good enough friend.
Yeah,
she told you that.
That said, I did not like you when I first met you. I went,
wow.
What's not to like?
I was going to say, how could they not? I loved you from the moment I met you.
See, I've learned.
But it's funny because sometimes friendships take longer to cultivate.
Yes.
But it's like with Denise and you and Dee, we just kind of all, like you said before, and we've just felt like we've been together a long time. Yeah. And I think if you don't have a lot of friends, that's okay too. You don't have to have a lot, but I do think sometimes you have to make an effort to find friends and not just sit around and say, I don't have any friends. I don't have any friends. Sometimes you have to get out and it's hard for some people.
It is.
And I get that. Our temperament, it's not hard for either one of us, but it is hard for some people.
It is.
So what do you feel like is the basis for friendship? Like, what do you think makes a good friend? Or is that just throwing the curve at you? Like, is it just...
Oh, like you care?
I was just waiting for this one. But no, seriously, what do you think cultivate? I mean, we can both talk about it. What we think is a good friend.
I think trust has to be in the very front, if not at the top of that list.
Yes.
And just understanding and, trust and telling each other the truth. And
not being judgmental when the other one tells you something that's private to them, something that they're just telling to you, not to be judgmental about it, and love you for who you are, because
that's difficult to do a lot of times, depending on what it is.
It is. Oh, yeah.
A true friend will listen, understand, be right there with you, and walk through the valley with you if they need to.
Yeah. That's perfect right there. That's what friendship is. Yeah.
And so there was a song you were talking about.
That's what I was going to say. We were going to kind of end with this because it's a Michael W. Smith song. And I think it's really rings true for our relationship with Denise and in all of our relationships, really. But
all of them.
It says, the Lord is the Lord. Wait, the Lord is the Lord of us. it just went out my mind. Hold on just a minute. Friends are friends forever if the Lord is the Lord of them.
Of them.
Yes. And that's a Michael W. Smith song, and it's a great song if you ever want to look it up.
Yeah.
Well, I've enjoyed this, girl.
This has been fun.
Yeah.
And we've missed Denise.
We did. We'll let her out of the closet, maybe.
We'll take the duct tape off
her mouth. Yeah.
No, she has been gracious to let us
she
do this. And
we love her.
And trusted us enough to be able to get through it.
Yes.
And if you see this, it means that she did really trust us. If you never see this, then you'll never see it.
That's right. She knows she didn't post it. But I'm surprised she didn't try to come in here.
I know, me too.
She did good. We're going to give her kudos for that one.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
I have to jump up and turn this thing off, but we appreciate you turning into the channel that Miss Denise has perfected here.
The Blind Zone.
Yeah, the Blind Zone, not the Cindy Zone.
No.
Now we're going to take that out.
Yeah, it'll just be back to the Blind Zone after this week. Thank you, guys.
Great evening, day, morning.
Yes.